Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Sup?
So let's get right into it. It's been another 4 or 5 days, I'd say, since our last, completing the entire week of rest that the party required to be full and vital and good to go, except for maybe Fizzle.
Am I expected to say something to that?
No, I was just checking if my push to talk button was all down.
Okay.
Because it beeped at me midway through what I was saying, and I was like, oh, great. I now have a sticky push to talk.
Dirty.
Gross.
Also, since there's 2 Vidusai, I'm gonna split their points.
Wait, what?
Gonna split their points.
Okay.
To be fair, Vidus did die.
Yeah.
He's starting again from level 1. Alright, so at the completion of the 7 days, morning greets you. Marcus, Yav, and Riddick are gone. Sika has hung around because you're all going to her home plane, and so she kind of has questions on where exactly you're headed. And when Fizzle tells her, she's like, oh yeah, that's not too far. I can catch a train from there back to my university. She's gonna travel with you guys. At least till you get to Vrim.
Okay. I approve of this plan.
Agnes, you have toiled greatly.
What was that, Jimmy?
I was saying, of course Emily goes along with this plan.
Of course. What could go wrong?
That's an excellent question. What could go wrong?
Don't answer that question. It was rhetorical, Josh.
I do think that there's one thing that should be mentioned, though, that happened in the text channels over since last session.
Oh.
Which is Gradius, that Jinx player, pointing out the wonderful pun of using Agnes's breastplate to communicate with the mirrors. It's a mammogram.
I tried to stop it, but Matt was too quick.
Let me call you on my scale phone.
So
Have memories. The proper lizard, damn it.
Right? None of this fur affinity bullshit.
So Akvis toiled tirelessly, Josh? You went robot.
I am going robot. I'm sorry.
He's being assimilated.
The Borg are coming.
I'll show you the Borg are coming.
Oh, baby.
Anyway. Yes, the process is complete. The second Vidus stirs and goes up on the table like a naughty puppy.
Deuce has been a bad dog.
It's that time of the night again when my connection gets throttled. Hooray!
Hooray.
Excellent.
Good news, everyone.
So, what did you catch of that thing that I just said?
Climbs up on the table.
Like a naughty puppy.
Yes. Fiddus has been a bad dog.
Oh, and needs to be spanked?
Oh
No.
my.
Get your hands off my puppy.
Son of a bitch, I'll deal with it later. So by later, I mean now. All right, so it is at this exact moment there is a knock at the cabin door.
And knock on the door again. No, I'm a dragon in the backyard.
Luckily, no one has seen this.
Fiddus
No
runs out and
solicitors.
scratches at the door like a dog.
Can you just go answer the door?
At the door, there is a courier for the king with a large oaken chest.
Trying to figure out how I can. I'll just have him leave it at the door and we'll bring him the chest. Unless he needs to keep the chest with him. I don't know.
He is shackled to it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's great.
But he supposes it is further that he and his compatriot have to haul it as they attempt to squat down and fumble off the shackles. This produces the telltale rattle of gold within.
Okay.
And you're not going to stop them? They just go on their way.
Yeah, I'll let them go on their way. And I will turn to Akvis and see if she can quickly go out and grab Malgarion so we can bring this in.
I just let out an ear-piercing whistle.
Malgarion, you hear an ear-piercing whistle.
Apparently that's lizard for get your ass inside.
He out in the backyard. He was in the middle of a nap, and he doesn't even open his eyes, but he just kind of visibly winces. And just,
As he
kind of
should.
shifts, kind of shifts, and puts his head under his wing.
I send both Viduses. Who after he doesn't come in a minute, and I don't hear the sound of dragon standing up and stretching in the backyard. I send both of the Viduses out, who kind of run out and just throw themselves on top of Malgarion. Start chewing on him.
Much rattling.
Much rattling.
So he pulls his head out from under his wing, and he's looking at one of the Viduses that's chewing on his what amounts to his wrist, as it were, and
I take it that something has happened.
Vidus nods and thought enthusiastically.
Fine, I will be in a moment.
The new Vidus rattles and looks at you with a gaze that hungers for all life, and yet at the same time is adorably innocent and.
Sounds about right. Vidus just doesn't know any better, guys.
It's the look Fizzle gets when she sees something she likes.
You mean something with boobs?
You heard.
Large women. So, once Malgarion joins the rest inside, you can crack open the chest. Or, I guess it could be cracked over already, but that'd be rude, so I'm not going to say that you...
Yeah, no, I would have had Malgarion help Tetrix bring the chest into the house.
Oh. Need a big strong dragon, eh?
Well, Tetrix can't lift it by himself.
Deuce is going to sit in the corner and be quietly fit both of them.
So yes, chest brought inside, cracked open. Within is a trove of gold coins, but primarily jewels and jewel.
Dibs.
It all lays in on a fine silk cushion and covering. Tedrix,
Yeah.
you notice something about this cast of jewels as you get an examination of it.
Oh.
These once belonged to the queen. The king has liquidated his wife's assets in order to properly compensate you all.
Oh, crap.
Everyone, your wealth level goes up by 1. Once the chest is properly divvied up between all.
Well then.
Woot.
Okay, I'm sure that this is probably a stupid question, but did Tetrix get a share of this as well?
Yes, Tedrix also gets a share.
Okay, well...
The only one assembled who doesn't take a share is Sika, who insists... You guys don't need to pay me. Riddick pays me.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, I'm not going to increase Tetrix's wealth because he's just going to donate it back to the king.
Oh. Are you really going to insult your liege lord by denying compensation? I mean, the dude's already grieving. Like, are you going to really get into an argument with him on, like, hey, by the way, I had to liquidate the queen's stuff to pay you for saving our entire plane?
Dibs on the extra.
It's not that. It's just saving the king is his job.
Okay, well, I guess I'm late then. Sorry.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Gladius. So, to catch you up, Jing needs to increase his wealth level by 1
Yay,
because
yay.
you just got a share of gold and jewels obtained from tragic ends.
Yay! Wait.
Wait.
What's a wait?
Gladius. He's just
Huh?
like, wait. It was not a legitimate wait.
Careful. Yeah, it was. That was just a script. That was like a comedy crash. Huh? Let's start over. Hi, I'm Jay.
Hi, Jane.
Guardius. So where'd the money? What? What's the
I love how everyone is silent.
So he can keep digging himself this hole. It's fine.
To be fair, Tetrix is the only one that knows what's going on here exactly.
It is true. Tedrix is the only one who knows where this money came from. The rest of you, it's just gold and jewels.
Tedrix will try and grab as many of like the jewelry as possible because he will return as much as he can to the king. As that's his share. He won't take. He's not going to insist that everybody give everything over, but you know what I'm trying to say, right?
Tedrix politely requests that could his share be in jewelry because he wants to look like a pretty princess.
I'll allow it.
This is not actually what he says.
Damn.
I mean, if he did, Fizzle would be all over that.
Malgarion just kind of sitting back and letting people discuss it.
There's something to discuss.
Well, I mean, given that if it is not in liquid assets, it's not in just universally usable gold coins or whatever. So people are like, oh wait, I like that one. Oh wait, what about this one? He's pretty much just appraising. He's sitting in the back and just trying to keep an eye in ballpark on as long as it's fair, then fucking whatever. And he's kind of letting everybody negotiate which things that they would like that are the coolest.
And it is fair. There is, as far as quality and gold there's enough that it will divide evenly. Even though there'd be no way possible to do that, in reality, I'm the GM.
Yeah.
Magic can't wait.
The implication being that Malgarion really doesn't care what he gets out of the pile. He's just letting other people have first dibs.
Indeed. But with the chest divided up, there's not a lot of reason to stay here. So, any final things that need to be addressed before the party leaves?
Okay, guys. We're gonna go to Vren. You're gonna see a lot of things that you just couldn't possibly understand. And I get that. But try not to gawk. Don't stare and look like a stupid tourist. Also, don't accuse anyone of witchcraft. And, yeah, that's it.
Fizzle.
Yes.
I have a proposition to put towards all of you if you would like. Otherwise, I can do this on my own. But, as, and you can kind of tell that he's been planning this one-liner for a while, and you can already tell he's super fucking proud of it, right? And he just looks at Fizzle, he's like, do you want to see something cool?
Right back.
Tempted to just say no, but I do want to see something cool.
Do you want to start a war?
Alright, I guess so.
I am considering going back home and calling the Dragon Lords into a meeting. And Josh, what's his face's name again?
He didn't give you his real name. I realize that no one throughout this entire thing has asked him his real name, but the name he gave was Riddick.
Yes. Did Riddick tell any of you about what he personally does? What is his job?
Sika timidly raises her hand.
And Teedrix raises his too.
I've received conflicting reports of mercenary and magister.
Exactly. And his organization have their hands universally tied because the whole they can only enforce laws relative to the plane that the issues are conducted on, correct?
Sika nods. Yeah, they have to be called to serve.
Sika?
Yes.
Did he ever tell you, after the day at the beach, did he ever tell you anything about where I'm from?
No, that's your business.
Fair. I was one of 5 dragon brood lords who are the functional rulers of an entire plane, and then my spark ignited, and I decided that I was going to have a broader sense of responsibility, and I put someone else in charge of my brood. Functionally, this Lord in the Tower bastard has, by virtue of assaulting me when I first met by the vampire assaulting me when I first met Fizzle, and by having allies by sending his allies to actively attempt to cause me harm, this is tantamount to a declaration of war, and I simply have to go ask the other Dragon Lords to acknowledge this.
Oh, that war.
Yes.
Are we already fighting that war?
We are. But that council that Riddick works under is not. And they have significant abilities to enforce laws across many, many planes. Their hands are tied. And if I can get the Broodlords to agree to this, their hands become untied.
Oh, okay, sure. I mean, we're still going to Vren, because I need stuff, or I can go to Vren, you guys can do that, whatever you want.
Oh, we can still absolutely go to Vren first, or if you all want to go to Vren, I will go and talk to the Broodlords. But I thought that you might like the idea of getting to meet 5 other dragons of... Fizzle. I'm the second smallest of them.
The bigger question is, are they boring?
One of them is.
I'm gonna ride that one.
You know, I would appreciate seeing you sit on Yggdrasil's head.
Oh, it will happen.
But anyway, so is everyone else agreeable to making a detour on the way to Vryn?
I'm not going to be going with you guys.
Why not, friend Teedrix? I thought we were friends.
We are, but there's a lot that needs to be put into place here first.
You hear a pin drop. Bing!
Can't say I didn't expect this.
Teedrix, do you mind if we take the satchel and the codex with us?
Sure. I'll go get it.
All right. And worst case scenario is if you end up needing to meet up with us to try and use it and such, you can call my mirror.
Or you can call us on, on Reduce's, Aquis's spook.
At this point, Malgarion just kind of like raises an eyebrow as he looks over at Fizzle. Activist does not have breasts.
She's got a chest that counts.
Also, and he kind of looks over at Activist at the corner of his eye, and then like the pieces fit in as he figures out, like, oh, that's what you mean.
Teedrix will hand the satchel over to Jing. Or Acvis, either one.
Gradius, are you alive?
Oh, did he say that he was going to be right back?
Jing will take the book with a somewhat stiff little bow, sling it over her shoulder.
Hopefully this won't take too long. I'll be back.
From what I understand, you're planning on trying to cause a significant cultural shift within your own people and trying to align an entire plane into working together. Teedrix, this may very well take the rest of your natural life.
It could possibly. But we'll see. I hope to see you all again.
Malgarion just kind of nods. So is Teedrix just gonna like heading out from there, or is he loitering?
I think he's gonna loiter until you guys walk away.
Okay.
Aw, he cares about them, not to just walk out on them.
You shut your whore mouth.
So at which point Malgarion's gonna look over at the rest and say, is there anything else that we need to do before we leave here?
I mean, I really want to just go fly hard to the castle and sit on the throne. But, I don't think we need to delay for that.
Zhang, Agvis, anything?
I'd entertain the passing urge to go unmask in front of the king court, but
Oh, I've considered that as well, but I think that would do more damage than help at this point. Though it is an entertaining notion, Jing, for you to just walk into the room, shake your finger in your old man form at him, say, "One more thing," and then turn into your natural state.
Oh, that sounds amazing!
And then the jester unmasks and turns out to be Jackie Chan. And then Jing and him leave to go find the 12 talismans.
Yeah. By the time that series ended, wasn't there like 30? Or was it still just the 12?
It was still just the 12. They kept finding new mystical artifacts to have to collect. They were different things each season.
But anyway, Sarah, you started typing and then you stopped. Everybody stare at the actors of the edges. Oh, see Discord. Okay. Got it. So yeah, I guess at that point Malgarion just gonna kind of just nod and... Alright, well, just to give you all warning when you follow me after I walk. Where we are going, there is a lot of white mana. And it's difficult to describe.
Are we going to need to shield Activist from this?
Akvis is not a creature of black, but either way, black or red being the opposing energies to the creative white magic. Fair. Then I get out of character. I don't know if anybody can, if there is a spell to protect her from it. Open legend boons.
We also out of character don't know if it's actually going to hurt her.
Resistance could do it.
Which thing does resist? Can I do resistance? I cannot. We could just put her in a barrier bubble.
You could, yes, that's doable. Sika kind of fidgets with her fingers. Wish Yob was still here. He knows all the circles of protection.
Where did they go? Is that something I just missed, or have they left without saying anything?
They left. They had things to do. The only reason Sika stayed around is because you guys were intending to head to So she's like, my university's not far from where you're going.
Yeah, as far as the protecting Akvis thing, yes, Sarah, we can use alteration or energy to put a shield up on her, and if we manage to pull off a power level 9 roll, then she is immune to damage and harmful effects from the chosen attack type. So Jing had alteration, right?
No, he's movement.
Who had energy?
Jing has a little bit of
Fizzle!
energy.
Dietrich has energy as well.
Okay, Akvis has energy here. So since she had said in characters like, I can protect myself, all you're gonna just be like, pretty much just nods like, all right, let it be done, and then he's gonna cast a boost, a bolster on her energy magic. No, he's not.
Are we going to get a reroll with the shame point?
No.
No.
Okay, with what time constraint do we have? Can I just take a 20?
Sure, we can just say it happens because that would make it easier than rolling. You have infinite time at this point and no constraint to So yes, we get Actus a little rune against white mana inscribed on her chest.
All right, Sarah's got her headset off.
I'm red.
That for stuff.
And yeah. Is that all the preparations that needed making?
What about the Veduses?
She can put runes on them too.
Okay.
Was he? Somewhat worried about Fizzle. Are you sure we have enough time to deal with dragons? As I understand, they're quite slow to action.
Look, I made a whole bunch of drugs. I'll be fine.
At this point, Malgarion's kind of looking between Jing and Fizzle. He's kind of squinting a little bit.
This is just for a more long-term solution.
Alright, for sure.
Yeah, sure, I just gotta keep taking the pills.
You dropping dead in the middle of a dragon sentence.
Not gonna drop dead, probably.
This may just be my age speaking, but trying to pick up on context clues. Fizzle, are you dying?
Yes. Yes, actually.
That's why we're going to Vryn.
Sort of. I mean...
Are we going to Vryn to try and help you not die, extend your life, or because you would like to hit on the other mage here?
I mean...
First,
What, Josh?
she seems to perk up. Huh, what?
I mean, first, it's to mitigate the symptoms of dying. There's currently only one cure, and you all can fuck off. Again. I put it... I'm just not happening.
Fizzle, what's
and
the cure?
also, yes, I'm gonna flirt with her like crazy.
That's fine, by all means. I'm not your father.
She makes a small sound halfway between a squeak and a giggle,
That was adorable.
mostly of embarrassment, and runs out of the room with her face in her hands.
Man, that's so much fun. We're gonna have to
Malgarion's
do
gonna
that
kind
again.
Malgarion's gonna kind of lift his chin and angle his head towards the door that she ran out of. Come back, she won't bite much, probably.
I'm not letting any of you see me until my face cools down.
But
That's
it's
not-
so adorable.
That's not helping.
I wasn't supposed to.
It just makes it worse.
I mean, that
If
just sounds even more adorable.
If you don't confront the problem, she's only going to do it again the moment you walk through the door. You may as well just rip off the bandage.
Or play dead.
At
Fizzle.
Jing's suggestion, you hear a flump onto the ground.
Oh no,
Great.
she died. I've lost complete interest.
At this point, Malgarion's going to kind of look at Tedrix, and just the look that Tedrix is getting from Malgarion is like, at least she didn't decide that she needed mouth to mouth.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, Diedrich's with a relieved look on his face is just nodding in agreement.
So when Malgarion turns and looks back to Fizzle, he's just gonna Fizzle. Just for the sake of cutting out any of the guesswork, because there's apparently a number of conversations that I missed. What is the cure that you don't want to do?
Oh, take out the wings.
So the wings are what are killing you.
Yeah.
She's suffering from mana toxicity, I believe.
Okay. So, that being the case, Fizzle, is it possible to simply upgrade them?
No, not currently. I mean, so, who knows?
Currently.
Maybe someday we'll figure something out. But no, not currently.
If I might make a suggestion, once we're at a point where we're not running for our lives perpetually, trying to chase down this Lord of the Tower, maybe you should go speak with that weird Snake Man Artificer, because he might have some methods that you don't.
Perhaps. But otherwise, the plan remains the same. Have fun, and then eventually die.
At this point, Malgarion's like looking like from one corner of the eye to the other, as if he's trying to look at the numbers going through in front of his face. Just, yes, that is the story for all of us, isn't it? You're just on fast forward.
Yeah, I'm just, I mean,
I believe the phrase that you
yes.
muttered in your sleep the other night was "be gay, do crime."
Yes! I mean, I would never do crime. What are you talking about?
You remember that time that we started a bar fight with a vampire and then hunted him down and murdered him with a star?
Yes.
That technically was a crime.
I mean, I don't remember this. What are you talking about? I wasn't there. I would never do a crime.
Remember earlier in this conversation when you were contemplating minor treason?
All right. Fine. Jeez, I do crimes all the time.
Out of character.
Are you happy now?
Out of character,
character.
Fizzle uses red, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Fizzle, you might want to go to put up a protective ward on yourself from white mana, because where we're going, you might explode, and not in a good way.
So, also out of character, T-Drex, aren't you so glad you're staying behind?
I'm blue.
No. I mean all the talk of larceny and lez majesty.
Oh yes. Yes. I am definitely glad that I am staying behind.
Actually,
I know what you meant, but just emphasis on the les part.
Well, the les part of the majesty died, remember?
Yeah.
That's how we got paid.
anyone opposed to me naming the BYOC campaign larceny and lez majesty? Because that actually really has a ring.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
As long as you always remember to put the emphasis on the les.
Wink, wink.
Well, we have Emily in that group. It's the emphasis is always on the les.
What was friggin' Thanos' name over there again?
What?
Oh, you mean Zika with the gauntlet?
Zika. Yeah, with the gauntlet.
Oh! Wow.
See, Josh knew where I was going with it. That's what matters.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Anyone who wears a glove is the Mad Titan of Marvel lore.
Yes. So I'm assuming she's also throwing red mana around, or is she using blue?
She's a red, but it's not the same way. It's not. She's just an ordinary human.
It's an artifact, so it's colorless by nature, isn't it?
Yes, but she condenses red with it. It's part of her magic.
Also, am I
Zika.
stoned? Or I would swear there were, like, white direct damage spells that were lightning.
They're usually represented like by divine nonsense. It's more divine energy that looks like lightning.
Okay.
Okay,
bro.
Zika.
She peeks her head around the door.
Ward your gauntlet.
Okay, I could just turn it off.
Will that use the mana out of it?
Yes.
I would advise doing that.
Okay.
All right. Is everybody else ready?
Make sure you hold the reset button on your mana gauntlet for at least 5 seconds. Make sure it's fully powered down.
Is this in character?
Oh.
It is now. Yes, nope, it is. Malgarion's just gonna stare at Jing like, what have you seen?
I think
She's-
that's about the only
she's
thing
looking
she's
at the
possibly
gauntlet.
turning off.
She's looking at the gauntlet now. Why isn't there a reset button? Why have I never designed this?
I'm going outside and I'm going to take off this form. And he just gets up out of his rocking chair and he starts walking outside.
Of course, old man Malgarion has a rocking chair. Of course he does.
Well, to be fair, the king probably has a rocking chair. Malgarion just annexed it.
Will you be taking his robe with you when we leave?
Maybe.
Please don't take the king's robe.
Hey, I didn't take his wife from him.
Oh.
So,
What if I take
how did,
her robe?
Please
She
don't
doesn't
take
need
her
it
robe.
anymore.
how did the queen dying make us get paid?
Basically, what happened is he didn't have enough money to pay you all, and still pay all the people that needed to be paid for the war and start the rebuilding process. So he liquidated his wife's assets to pay you.
Oh,
Her crown jewels, her jewelry, her clothing.
wow, I feel terrible now.
Why do you think Teedrix was trying to save as much jewelry as possible?
Yeah, because these are the royal family jewels that we're getting paid with.
Uh-huh.
And probably part of her dowry.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just give us like a royal credit card?
Not one that would work on every plane. Jewels and gold always have value.
Okay, so Malgarion's going to step outside, pretty much turn into energy, and then shift into his draconic form. And then he's just going to walk. He's just going to planeswalk, just turn it, pretty much stay in that little energy form, and just disappear as he shifts through the planes.
And leaving behind a little fold that you can all follow him with if you.
Okay. I will go and touch the fold.
We know.
It goes to a place you've never been before.
No, I'm pretty sure I've been there before. Oh, the plane. Never mind.
Oh, God.
Sika follows after Fizzle a little hesitantly. But she's eager to see something she's never seen before.
Damn it, Josh! Stop giving me opening.
I'm going to give you so much ammo and then deny you all of it.
Anyway, so do you have anything on the intervening space, Josh, or should I just describe where they end up?
Truth be told, I didn't expect everyone to go there, so yes, just describe where they end up.
So, since everybody went after him, you guys are all standing behind Malgarion, and when you look around, you're in the middle of a caldera. It is just smooth white stone everywhere. Like, it looks like it would have been worked stone, except there's no seams here. you can feel that the air's a little bit thin, and you're you remember that valley in the Land Before Time that they were trying to get to, which is like up a friggin' mountain and whatnot? That's pretty much where you're at, except instead of, grasslands and jungle and whatnot, there are shaped, rounded nests kind of all over the place. And like it doesn't take much to figure out that's like, oh, that raised flat thing is dragon furniture, when you see that there's like a dragon laying across what would what is functionally a chair for them. And even some like buildings toward around the center of the caldera, which are nearly human sized. And at the very, very center is a large cone-shaped structure. Rounded at the top with, you can even tell from here, even as far away as you are, that there are 4 large entrances where like 2 dragons can go through these doorways easily, going opposite directions. And there are dragons everywhere, in the air, on the ground, just kind of going about doing their thing. And this place, white is the only mana in the air. Malgarion is actually literally glowing at this point.
He also needs to make an agility check.
Malgarion does?
Yes. Because I'm about to interrupt this majestic moment.
Oh, this is most unfortunate because I have an agility of 1.
Hope you roll well.
Oh shit, Jing getting all philosophical and nonsense.
Okay, I give you an option on what happens next.
Okay.
Some of the trees rustle, and out shoots about 70 little wormlings that look a lot like Malgarion.
You cut out really hard for the beginning of that.
Being spawned by children.
Yes, several of the trees rustle, and out shoot about 70 little wormlings that look a lot like Malgarion. You may, by virtue of your roll, choose to dodge or not. If you do not dodge, you will be knocked prone, but take no further damage.
We'll go with not dodge, because he kind of expected something similar to this. And he's as he hits the ground, he's going to feign death. Tongue out and everything, slowly rolling onto his back.
The oldest and largest of the wormlings sits atop Malgarion's shoulder and goes, "Yeah, we got him! We are the victor!"
Huh.
When he calls himself a broodlord, it doesn't really click. But now that I've seen it,
I mean, to be fair, I saw him going crazy during that orgy.
that is...
Shortly before I shut myself in a hut with a very pretty lady who wanted to learn glitter magic and learned a lot of other things.
Sika blushes.
And looks, yes, just she looks directly at Sika.
Hiding face.
Thank you.
So as this conversation is going on, Malgarion just kind of like slowly cracks open one of his eyes, and then reaches up and just pins that wormling against his side with 1 foot.
Ah! It's not dead troops. Hug harder.
And this is when the first time that you all hear Malgarion just legitimately laugh as he picks up that wormling with one foot and is very carefully rolling back up onto his other three limbs so that he can then he's standing on the wormling but not putting any pressure under him, just pinning him as he looks at the others and says
Commander Zolarian, do you surrender to a superior foe?
I never yield. Scatter troops, save yourselves.
Well done.
and then he lets up the little wormling, and as he sits down, he's just give him a once over, make sure that he didn't accidentally put too much pressure on him or whatever, and then he just shakes his head, and he's big, toothy. It's supposed to be like a grin, but it's more like that playful look that like a dog gets when they pull their lips back and their nose kind of scrunches up.
Doggy smiles.
Hmm?
Doggy smiles.
Yes.
Doggy smiles are the best smiles.
Where is Aurelian? I need to speak with her.
At this point, the GM has to query the players. Where would she be?
Players plural?
Or just player? Yes, you.
Okay.
You know this realm better than I.
I mean, I guess that's fair. Frankly, she could be anywhere within the Caldera, just kind of dealing with like domestic-ish things, as it were. She could be off in the human kingdom's castle doing the whole,
For sake of time,
subtle thing.
I'm going to say that she's dealing with that big, somewhat thing with the big spire. He gives a point to it.
The map.
Alright. Go back and play. Keep your siblings safe.
He gives a bow. Yes, sir.
Was that the one I'm supposed to ride on?
Malgarion just kind of snakes his head over his shoulder, and
Oh no, that is not. I'll point out Yagdraliska once we get there. But once we get to the meeting, Yagdraliska will be the blue dragon brood lord.
The blue one. Okay, the blue one.
Yes. Aurelian is my eldest and the current leader of this brood. She's over by the Mana Well.
And at that point, Malgarion's going to start walking. And the group is probably getting some very, very sidelong glances as they're walking through, because 2-foots don't get to come here. But they know who's in front of them and leading them. So no one's actively saying anything, but there is some significant suspicion. And as they're walking, Malgarion just kind of explaining what's going on here.
This place is where my family lives. My plane is, well, broken, but not quite in the same way as Vryn. Mana is supposed to diffuse from the plane into a plane evenly. In my plane, it bleeds through specific points. This is the place where white mana bleeds into this world. There's a place for each of the other colors, and there are smaller wells where the colors hybridize. As they're bleeding through, they somewhat combine with one another. And because of the sheer power at each of these locations, we cannot trust the humans of this plane to hold them. We actively keep them away from them. They simply know it as places where dragons live, and so therefore dangerous territory. And this is why we do our best to ensure that none of the empires or kingdoms or tribes within this plane get strong enough to potentially threaten us. Because if the humans of this plane, by the nature that we have seen from them over the millennia, were to get a hold of this kind of power, they would manage to destroy this plane in its entirety. So once we get... Go ahead.
Oh, Jing is just stunned beyond words and clearly in awe at this concept of just a planet's worth of mana all in one place.
Jing, you have the satchel with the book?
Apparently.
The exterior of the satchel is warm to the touch, for no readily apparent reason.
Alright. Once he realizes the hot spot, he'll sort of jump and pull the book out to see what it has to say.
Book is even warmer, and as you unfold it, it's writing furiously and sketching furiously. It is noting down everything Malgarion is saying. It is noting down notations of the consistency of mana and how it feels in the air. It's drawing every single dragon you pass across, every piece of flora, fauna, to the blades of grass.
Book's a giant fucking nerd.
So you get to the spire.
You know, it's very strange to live your life dedicated to a sole purpose and then find an object that does it twice as well.
Nope.
Fizzle, I remember you describing to me an object from Vryn that you called the Devastator.
That sounds innocuous.
No, I don't think that. I devastate things better.
I'm sure you do.
Oh, I do.
Sika looks up. What's a devastator? I don't There's nothing like that I've encountered on the...
I'll tell you later.
As I understand it, it is something that she used to deny one the ability to walk for 3 days.
Did she break their legs?
Nope.
Then how did you...
Malgarion stops, just steps to the side slightly and lowers his head so that his one big white eye, which is also, like, when I said he's glowing, like, all of the parts of his picture that are the white crystalline looking nonsense are actively glowing, and including his teeth and his eyes as well. And so he just kind of lowers his head right in front of her, and he just says very, very bluntly,
She sexually pleased her with an artifact that was designed specifically to do so, and it denied her the ability to walk for days due to overstimulation.
Stop! And she pats. It's obvious she went to, like, slap, but you're big and scaly and hard. And so all it really does is, like, pet. Stop!
Like I said, I don't need artifacts for that.
So to the spire.
Yeah. So when they walk in, within the spire itself, this is when you find. Oh,
sorry, I didn't mean to keep the dragon voice on, sorry. So within the spire itself is actually there is no floor. Once you walk into the spire,
Okay.
there is a a giant domed cavern that caldera is on top of. And for lack, like, if it wasn't for the fact that you see dragons floating around and all of the heat and whatnot, like, underneath the caldera is the volcano. Complete with magma flows, places where they have forced the magma to flow in certain directions to enable forges. And you can't sense, like, even if you were trying to sense it, like, the amount of white mana in the air is washing out everything else. But you're looking at some of the things that have been produced and are being stored within this caldera, and you know for a fact that those have to be magical artifacts of one form or another. And if anybody's character had ever wanted to see what amounts to a full dragon paladin in full plate armor, complete with, like, metal claw casings to supplement their weapons and swords that come off of the front edge of their wings, you can mark that off your list now. Also, I'm kind of sad that Tedrix didn't get to see this, because he would have freaking creamed his pants. So at this point, Malgarion's just he's gonna motion for down the hole, say, Aurelian will be down here, and we can speak with her about attempting to call a council of the brood lords. At which point, he's going to nail down and pretty much offer to give people a ride down, because it's a big drop into this volcano.
Awesome.
Alright, go for a ride.
Is this Jing trying to cast a flight spell?
Yes.
How would that go for him?
No. That's just a no.
I mean, Josh, are we gonna? Well, so here's the other caveat, Josh. Just for the sake of, because you're more familiar with mana mechanics than I am, is there any blue in this area for him to draw in anyway?
No, but the Planeswalkers can pull mana from other planes, as we established when me and you were talking.
True.
So he can get a trickle to it. it might
Okay.
be enough to.
I think 37 probably did it.
Jing musters hard, thinks of home, pulls real hard from elsewhere, anywhere not here, anywhere he's been before that has, and manages to pull across the ether just enough to make his flight spell work.
I'm gonna say that there was like a young drake or whatnot that senses this and just like snaps its head around and is just like wide-eyed staring at Jing like, what the fuck are you?
Jing, to your credit, you realize exactly how hard working spells in this condition is. If it ain't white, it's near impossible. Feel proud at the little feat that you have committed here.
So, like, Alabama?
Yes, you just managed to get a Wi-Fi signal in Alabama.
I think he was referring to the "if it's not white" comment.
Oh, racism.
That's half the reason I'm not going for Chapter 3 after this game. I can't discuss the mana colors at all without being called racist.
Also, welcome back, Sarah.
Welcome back.
Vaguely.
I hope your Fallout's okay.
It's radioactive.
I love that song.
Be around after game and we will give hugs and cookies and lemonade to ease this fallout.
Anyway, Sarah, how long have you been back?
30 seconds.
Okay.
I have
short
literally
version.
no idea what's going on.
Short version, they went to Malgarion's home plane. They're going to go declare a war so that Riddick and his organization can get in on it because they need somebody to pretty much conscript them with legal basis. And Malgarion got tackled by wormlings, explained that his plane is screwed. Screwed but stable. And his family lives in a volcano and they're about to fly down into it.
A volcano made of tons of white mana.
Yeah.
So, like,
Actress is fucked.
So, like the opposite of everything that Acvis has ever known about volcanoes.
Acvis is uncomfortable.
Akvis is being offered to ride down into the volcano on the dragon's back.
Acvis is having nightmares and PTSD flashbacks. The last time Acvis saw a volcano, she willingly threw herself into it to escape a dream sequence.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
That's what you missed last week.
Well, this is unfortunate.
And
The
that's
only-
the sad part. The sad part is he would have known. He would have known. He watched the whole thing. But unfortunately, Sarah was muted through the whole.
Retroactively, Acvis looks pissed. And is shaking. Literally.
The only other thing that we've established, Sarah, is that so the thing that has his plane all screwed up is that each of the 5 colors only bleeds through in one geographic area onto the plane. This is the white mana well. If it's not white mana, it's nearly impossible to cast. The only reason why Jing was able to pull off a flight spell is because he pulled the mana from other planes.
Which is an ability unique to him as a planeswalker.
Yeah,
Unique to
like-
him, or unique to planeswalkers?
Unique to planeswalker.
I spent like 3 turns playing islands. Do anything else? It sucked.
So, you head down into the volcano.
Mhm.
Except for maybe Acvis, who might be having PTSD flashbacks and not one.
Is
And most-
Malgarion carrying me?
Yes. If she pretty much he knelt down and pretty much said like, if anybody wants to ride down, this is kind of a long drop.
Both both Meduses are on top of her, pinning her down to Malgarion's back, and she is shaking like a fucking leaf.
Shit.
Because not only is it a volcano, it's a white mana volcano, and I'm assuming she can fucking feel it even through her ward.
Yep. There is not an
The
ounce
lizard
of
is
black or
displeased.
red. Here, I will represent it on the Lotus. All of these go away. This one right there. That's what this plane is like.
This is a very high stakes game of She Loves Me, She Loves Me Not.
That is what this mountain feels like. The moment you leave the mountain, the other colors start bleeding in a little bit more. But yes, when Agnes gets onto his back and starts shaking, Malgarion kind of again snakes his head over his shoulder, and he's giving her a slightly concerned and curious look. But eventually, he just opens up his wings and drops down into the hole and starts just circling his way down, and then lands next to one of the forges. The other descriptor, Sarah, that you missed is down here. It looks like it's almost like we just flew down into Ironforge, because they have just forges everywhere and just vaults, like dragon-sized vaults of artifacts that they've been making while they have all this white mana and a ready supply of molten rock and metal. And the closest that you see to what would be, guards or an armed force or whatever, are pretty much giant dragon paladins in full plate armor.
And you do find the dragon you're looking for, Malgarion. Is it male or female?
She.
She's actually near some of the forges, and she's looking into the heart of the volcano, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Slightly concerned.
So as he starts gliding down, he notes this, and as his back legs touch on solid ground, and then he's bringing his front legs down.
Aurelian,
She jerks up, surprised. My broodlord. In a moment of, there's other people around. We should probably not. I shouldn't be unformal.
I appreciate the respect, Aurelian, but you know that among our family, you are now the Broodlord.
How long has it been?
16 years, 4 months, and 17 days.
It has been a very long time. And she turns back to looking at the heart of the volcano. Again, her brow perplexed.
There's kind of a well, okay, first I need to state, are Fizzle and Agvis still on his back, or are they going to dismount given the opportunity with the relatively cool stone nearby? Like, it's still warm, but it's not melt your shoes hot or anything.
This is fine. This is normal. Rocks are good.
So Agvis is going to dismount from the dragon then?
Yes.
Okay. What about Fizzle?
Nope.
Okay.
She's comfortable.
So Fizzle, once Aurelian looks back towards whatever is going on with the volcano, Fizzle feels like a very low rumble from Malgarion's chest, as it's kind of like like his version of like kind of humming in thought as he starts walking up next to her.
What's wrong?
Yeah, what's wrong?
Something wasn't right with the mana. It.
Glitched.
What's a glitch? I don't know that this works. But yes, about 30 minutes ago, there was it moved irregular.
It is an issue that we are trying to look into. And there is a relevant thing that I must ask of you.
What is it?
First, formalities. This young, small creature on my back is Fizzle. Over there we have Li Jing and Acvis of the Edge. And
Sika is watching the forges with like intensity.
Did Sika give a last name or title at all? Ever?
Maryland.
Okay.
And that is Sika, Maryland. I apologize for bending the rules of the brood, but they are not humans of the kingdoms. They are Planeswalkers, like myself, and allies.
Sika is getting the hardest looks from the people working the dragons working the forges, because unlike everyone else who are non-humans, Sika is literally just a human.
Am I gonna have to go over there and punch some dragons?
No, I do not think that would work out well for you, Fizzle. Around Sika, Maryland, I apologize, yes, as a human, but she is my guest. If that is unacceptable, I will escort her down the mountain and then we can discuss our business.
No, she should be fine so long as she doesn't touch any or try to take anything.
Did you hear that, Sika?
It's okay, Sika. I'll touch everything for you.
Huh? What?
Sika, ask only. Do not touch anything.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna touch everything.
Okay. Go ahead.
So many layers of white spellwork. Certainly it would cause impurities after it. How do you deal with... She's like scratching her head. As this sort of spellwork does not compute to her.
Aurelia, would you like to discuss this issue in private, or are you fine to discuss it here?
I'm sorry, say that again, Matt?
It's Malgarion talking to Aurelian again, and he lowers his voice a little bit for at least, for a dragon, and he kind of leans in closer to her and just says,
Aurelian, this is a very important matter, and if you want, we can discuss it in private, or we can discuss it here.
Discuss it privately.
At which point he just nods and he starts walking towards one of the nearby vaults. Which, as they're... He actually starts like leading the way in front of Aurelian even. and motions for the others to follow. And as they approach the big vault door, it glows momentarily, and then just kind of two massive stone discs for the doors just go in opposite directions as it opens up. And he steps inside to what is functionally an empty vault, but with it looks empty at first until you realize that further in is an unworked stone cavern with about 5 foot tall ovoid shapes resting kind of throughout the cave. They're eggs.
Right.
Then after walking in, he pretty much turns around and he sits and he kind of waits for everybody to get in and the door to close. Then he's just looking at Aurelian and waiting for her to start.
So, what is this issue? What could cause mana to move? It was like the entire well just shifted 6 feet to the left and then back.
We don't know by concrete information. But after speaking with a Sphinx, whom is another Planeswalker, the running theory is that due to imbalances within the planes themselves, mana itself is becoming unstable. This poses a threat to our way of life, and this is why I came to ask of you a favor. We have a name for who is causing this instability. They're going by the name of the Lord in the Tower, and they are hunting Planeswalkers. They have declared open season on all Planeswalkers. This includes me.
She perks up with a recollection. That explains those unusual rumors we've been getting from the human lands. There's been individuals putting up bounty posters for anyone not of this world. The bounties are sizable, Father.
This information needs to be followed, Aurelian. We need to know who is calling these and how they are getting the money and why they are doing it.
We've intercepted a couple of the individuals. They're odd folk. Cagey. Flee at the first chance.
That may have to do with the fact that these other Planeswalkers and myself have done at least some significant damage to the enemy. And that gets ultimately to the point. Aurelian, you are the acting Brood Lord of the White Well. And I ask that you call a meeting of the Brood Lords. Because that Sphinx that I was discussing is a Magister of the Tribunal. They cannot act without a legitimate governing body declaring a legal need. And this Lord in the Tower has actively assaulted me and my wards.
At this point, he looks at Fizzle and kind of squints a little bit.
3 times? 2 or 3 times.
I don't know. All I really remember was the explosion. That was fun.
At least once in the jungle and once on the ship.
But ultimately, Aurelian, they have declared war on me, and their actions will lead to to catastrophe for our home.
Of course, I will call the meeting, but are you sure they will listen?
I like to hope that they don't have a choice. Ultimately, we will have to see how good of a mood Festriala and Zasht are in. They are still the acting brood lords for their broods, correct?
Yes, they are.
Good.
Could we give them a gift of some sort to get on their good side? Maybe a virgin princess or two?
Don't be racist, Jing.
So, if looks could kill, the look Malgarion is
dead.
giving. Yes, he would be dead, come back, and might be dead again after that. His eyes go from glowing to they are now actually spotlights illuminating Jing in this cavern.
Akvis whistles appreciatively.
For that to know, then.
A gift or tribute to the brood lords would help. I would advise keeping comments like that to yourself, Kitsune.
Yeah, what part of being don't be racist did you understand?
To be fair, we are on if it's not white, it's not right mountain, so...
In the middle of the humans can't be trusted Dragon Kingdom. Having your friends.
What was that?
Huh?
I don't know, somebody said something and I couldn't tell what it was.
Didn't hear anything.
No. It will, of course, take time. Is there any particular meeting place you have in mind? I believe the Chamber of the Broodlords would be appropriate.
Agreed, there's no reason to go against propriety and tradition. Doing anything but that would make us seem desperate. Which, accurate, but there's no reason to play that card so early.
So, for sake of time, I'm going to say that a day passes. And it is a flight to the location she has mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
I prepared a map.
Oh, shit.
So, she enters first, as is socially appropriate. The area you all find yourselves in is a large chasm behind a cave. All the pathways wind down towards the bottom, where there is a large clump of, well, partially illuminated foliage. This cave glows with crystals, hums with 5 colors of mana. Down in the bottom in the foliage, you see a few dragon eggs peeking out. Malgarion, you remember this place. This is, of course, the Cavern of the Broodlords. Only the Broodlords and are really allowed to come in here. It also serves another purpose. This is neutral ground where if you have a special egg, say one you want to declare an heir, this is where you'd put it to rest, separate from the others. There's an old superstition that the light given off by the cave actually strengthens the offspring, makes them more prone to greater feats of magic. But it, at this point, is considered an old wives' tale, but tradition nonetheless. And the rest of our party can also enter. They are allowed. With some cajoling. Am I still connected?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone went really quiet, and I was like, God damn it. Curse this connection of mine. So, yes, you may throw your oh, yeah, I forgot about that. This doesn't have a grid either, because I decided to spare Gladius. This also would not align properly.
Oh, I was enjoying Giant Stompy Pixie.
Sure. Fizzle, I take it you're among the...
What?
From where your token is, I take it you're among the foliage at the bottom?
That's just where it ended up, but sure, why not?
Okay. You notice that they're down in there. There's another cavern past the foliage.
Investigate.
Just peeking your head into the cavern, you notice bones lining the pathway. Dragon bones. Big. It also puts you closest to a blue dragon, who is quite serpentine, who hisses as you approach the cavern.
Oh. You. Time to ride.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, Actus and the Vitisci.
Vidisai.
The Vitisci.
Reducii?
When she straps mirror scales to them, she can call them the
Vidisai.
the Vitis phone.
God damn it. Fine. Yes. I approve. Can I just use the entropic magic to prescience and scry them? Through them?
Possibly.
Yes.
Here, let me go to get you to a normal size.
Grid me, big boy.
Where do you want to put Actus?
Actus can go wherever.
That's what I was asking Sarah. Where do you want to put Aquas? Okay. Oh, this is Josh.
Seiko will be there.
Also, Josh, just because I spent like an hour and a half cutting out these pictures, can we make them bigger? Yeah, actually, fuck it, disregard. I'll just put it into Discord.
Technically, they should all be bigger anyway because they're all dragons that are big. But this is a dragon-sized cavern, so, you know. Like, so technically, I should make everyone's model a fourth sides of a single square. Just to properly show how tiny and insignificant you are.
So, as far as the ones that are like the actual like biggest by mass and whatnot, it starts with
Fire Dragon.
What was her name? Yeah, it starts with Fire Dragon. She's the biggest, followed shortly by Yggdrasilka, who is the second biggest, and then Zasht, and then Malgarion, and then the Aztec-y fucking named one that I realized I can't pronounce. Zalalotl.
Zalalotl, the centipede dragon.
Yeah.
So, all of the after the hissing and Fizzle backing off from the cave of bones.
No, we're going to ride that dragon.
And going to ride that dragon, or try. They all turn attention to Malgarion, giving him the floor.
He's distracted, rider.
That one's a him.
He's distracted, ride him.
The blue dragon serpentines its body out of the way. Hey, what? Shush! I'm listening to your compatriot. Shoo!
Oh no, this is happening.
This is not happening.
It is happening.
Wow. Rape face Fizzle is just not okay.
Oh god.
The body continues to undulate, refusing to give you a proper place to sit upon it.
Go for the head.
Fizzle. Ask.
This was your idea.
He already knows what you are going to ask. Just ask.
No, he was rude first.
Out of character, he uses friggin' prophecy magic.
Yes, I already know of this situation. I knew that if I had not interrupted you, you would have gone into the grave of the Broodlord, mucked up our well-placed skeleton, probably taken a skull of one for a chair or something.
If she'd only mucked them up.
Do I look like a mermaid to you?
Yes.
Marrows, pixies, both forms of natural born.
I'm not from here. I don't.
And there's nothing
If it will keep you quiet and from disrupting the proceedings, you may sit upon my head, demeaning as it is.
Excellent. I'm glad you finally capitulated.
I call it less capitulation and more a cross not a cross, a burden I must bear for the rest of us. Sigh.
Man,
Let it never be said, Yggdrasilka, that you do not sacrifice for the cause.
this guy's so dramatic.
I have spent eons mastering the art of what you mortals would call passive-aggressive behavior.
Drama.
I like this one.
Zasht is the master of the backhanded compliment and the guilt trip.
Akvis approves.
Lords of the Broods, I come to you today to present a threat against the plane itself and our collective people. There is an entity out among the planes that goes by, at least the name that we have most commonly run into, the Lord of the Tower. It has taken it upon itself to try and collect, destroy, and manipulate as many planeswalkers as it can. Myself included. Apparently, to some extent, myself especially. Did you all feel the same ripple through the wells that Aurelian did just the other day?
They all look confused. Ripple. We did not feel a... They all look over to Aurelian. I didn't feel exactly a ripple. The mana shifted. The well moved. Only for a few seconds. They all take a moment to look at one another. There was Zalotl perched on her stone. I did sense a change in the temperament of the black. The other three nodding. But certainly it wasn't anything I'd describe as a ripple.
The same effect seems to have had multiple symptoms across the planes. When we ran into it where we were since before we came here, it felt like a wave of mana where things seemed off, flowed through the plane. This is a side effect of the Lord in the Tower tampering with what it was described to me as fundamental laws of the planes.
So, Fenestralia, I believe is how we say it, gives a low growl. And what would you have us do then?
The information that I received this from is another planeswalker, a Sphinx Magister of the Tribunal. Are you familiar with them?
Yadraliska and Zalotl both raise up a little bit. Ooh, I am familiar. And when Zalotl also speaks up, Yadraliska looks surprised. I am familiar with the Tribunal of the Blind Eternities.
As it was described to me, they cannot act even upon a threat to multiple planes without being called on by a legitimate governing body of a plane. Farawistra, the only thing that I ask of this council is that you agree that the actions of the Lord in the Tower against one of our people and their actions against all Planeswalkers and its effects of the destabilizing mana across the blind eternities, is an active declaration of war against our people, and would untie the hands of the Tribunal to take action and to actively attempt to help dissolve this situation.
So, you wish us to declare interplanar war?
Correct. To simply acknowledge that war has been declared upon us. And I do not believe that anyone would expect our broods to actually march across the plains with portals that we do not have the means to create in the first place. It is as Yggdrasil might say, a political gesture, simply allowing bureaucracy to get out of the way so that we can actually enact real justice on this Lord of the Tower.
Zalotl speaks. However, the Lord of the Tower does have the means to make portals. Many of them. You would be asking us to declare enemies with an individual who has every means to attack us, but we have no means to attack back. We would be reliant on an alien force to protect us. Or, as by your plan, to make an aggression against him.
At this point, Malgarion's like kind of squinting at Zalotl a little bit, but he's not making it like an actually aggressive gesture. He's just really fixating on her.
How much do you know about the Lord of the Tower, Zalotl?
I know that he puppet masters the vampires, but is not their lord. A few trespassed into my territory, and she gives a very distinct look over at Akvis and the two Vitus. All creatures of the black heed my whim.
Whims, perhaps, on this plane. But where I am from, we are our own creatures, and that is the power of the black.
Well spoken.
Oh my god. She doesn't even have a dick, and she's like measuring it, trying to measure it here.
Akvis dips her head.
It was not
Given that there was a
It was not hard to twist the little things and get them to talk. You have done great deals of damage to them.
There is still much damage to do, unfortunately.
As Jing speaks up, the blue dragon fixes him with a... It sounds it.
Oh my god, this is so boring. Could y'all just, speed it?
I have never been interrupted in such a way.
Be less boring.
You see it like that, I'm just going to find other ways to interrupt you.
It's a signal.
I suppose then it becomes a legal question. A thing I find very unboring, thank you.
You're welcome.
Malgarion, you are an abdicated lord of this plane. The key word is abdicated.
Malgarion bristles.
Do you actually count as one who could qualify? Certainly, yes, one of ours are attacked, but is it because you're a dragon and a person of this plane, or because you are a planeswalker?
Malgarion kind of slowly, he opens his mouth slightly, closes it, and he's still visibly bristling at that comment, and kind of half closes his eyes for a moment before he turns his head, like fully 90 degrees over.
Zasht, you've been listening through this entire discussion.
And I have been living up to my title.
Yes. And what does your wisdom be of this question?
She looks around to the dragons assembled. Yedriliska gives an excellent point. It is flimsy law to state that a member of this plane was attacked when it was because of your extraplanar nature. However, I am inclined to give you what you want. We shouldn't show weakness. However, if this brings aggression upon us, I think it should also fall to you, Malgarion, to rectify the situation in the way we know best.
Explosion.
Rather than relying on an
Yes.
outside force to take care of this, we need your bond that you will be leading.
Trap.
That was always my intention, Zasht. I appreciate that consideration. I have no intention of simply letting the tribunal attempt to deal with this problem. I intend, as I informed the Magister, if this Lord of the Tower ends up within claw's reach, they will not be getting a trial. They will be given a corpse.
Fair Australia rumbles, as does
Poke it.
who pokes it? What?
You said for Australia rumbles, as does, and then silence.
Oh, Zolotl.
And Aurelian, what are your thoughts?
I know what I saw in the pool. I know that the well was affected by, if you say it is this thing, these, how did your small pixie companion put it? Glitches?
Glitches.
Then it can easily affect our plane as well. However, I know nothing of this tribunal, nor its methods, and I know nothing of this Lord of the Tower, other than that he seems to be able to invade our plane, and he seems to have a remarkable amount of resources.
Judging from what you told me yesterday, Aurelian, about bounties within the human kingdom, and Zalotl, your testimony about them attempting to invade your territory, I believe that the Lord of the Tower has already acted against our home.
Oh, he made a good point. In your face.
Yadriliska looks up with a single eye. Quiet, you.
I will not.
The large undulating body seems to coil up on itself. Well, I'm glad she's not
Glad she's not what?
voting.
Yeah, you're probably better off. Because then you could all be cowards if you wanted.
Fenestralia actually roars loud enough to shake the coward. Fenestralia is no coward, nor is my...
Then vote to fight.
GM's note, fuck
Could
you,
be
Fizzle.
wrong.
GM's note, fuck you, Fizzle.
Calling out the most hyper-violent dragon in the middle of a fucking place where they're not allowed to fight. Great.
Yadriliska, bring that thing closer and I will chomp it straight from your head. Aurelian speaks up. That would be an act of aggression upon a guest of my flight. Though I would ask, Pixie, please, don't antagonize the other broodlords, or I will have to have you removed.
Hey, I was getting bored anyway. I'll see you cowards later. And out she goes.
Snap.
Doop, 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 doop.
So, Aurelian continues what had been somewhat interrupted. I cannot in good conscience say that going to war is the right move. But I do trust my father's judgment.
Malgarion kind of dips his head slightly.
So, it is to vote then. All in favor? And I will mark with a blue token the ones that say 4. And against.
It's seeing Yggdraliska vote against. Malgarion's kind of gets a slightly confused look on his face. And
What have you seen?
It is not a matter of what I have seen, it is a matter of laws. I don't believe that you have a legal binding claim to the tribunal. And I believe that the Lord of the Tower, if he knows anything, deliberate look over at Zalotl, who seemed to know the most about the tower. That could come back to bite us. We are talking of a legal body. They act on laws.
At this point, Malgarion kind of his wings shudder a little bit, and it's not quite a growl that comes from his throat, which Jing's probably the only person close enough to hear it. So, like, Jing, the small stones around your feet kind of shake with this gesture.
And so what would it take, Yggdrasil and Zalotl, for me to admit, for you to cast your vote for this war? For us to simply acquire allies against it?
Well, we are outvoted anyway, are we not? No one did say that the vote had to be unanimous.
At this point, the light clicks on in Malgarion's head as he realizes exactly what clever-ass Yggdrasil over there fucking did. And he just shuts his frickin' mouth.
Actually, it was Zalotl who said that.
Oh.
And now you know why the black voted against.
I think the concern is that you, being one of laws, and this vote having technically passed, will technically support it.
Yes, I will support the will of the majority. Yadriliska, I will change my vote if you can bring me the name of the Lord of the Tower, or at least where he is located. Because right now, we're running on happenstance.
Josh.
Yes, Actus.
Zerstrazos didn't use the name, right? Or did he? I can't remember if it framed it as
he just
the man you know as the Lord of the Tower.
He called it the man you know is the Lord of the Tower.
Alright, that's what I thought. Thank you.
I don't understand. Is he more dangerous if he has a name?
He who shall not be named. It's Voldemort, guys.
Vasht speaks up. We are hunting an invisible prey. It hardly favors us. We don't know anything about this Lord of the Tower. Just apparently what our second serpentine, what our two serpentine friends over there, which doesn't seem to be much.
To hunt unseen prey is still superior to being hunted by an unseen predator. There is much I don't know about our enemy. I admit this freely, but that is no excuse for stillness.
Vast fixes Jing with a very pointed look. Who is being hunted? Us? Or
Everything with a pulse. They are coming for the Planeswalkers first. I cannot stress that enough. First. And they are doing so in order to assume dominion over the rest.
You know this for a fact.
You have stated it yourself. You have no way to attack them. What better way to make sure that stays the case than to abduct all the Planeswalkers? Mobility is everything in war.
Yadriliska changes his vote.
And another set of beings as powerful as deities once the Lord dead.
Well, Zalotl simply just shrugs and goes, well, now I am definitely outvoted. Very well. You have my forces as well. I mean, not that you ever didn't. So, Malgarion, it seems that you have work to do.
Agreed. We will be heading to the plane of Vryn. You all know that if you need to speak with me, I have my mirror. Hopefully I have the ability to return sooner than another 16 years, and with better news.
Hopefully.
I thank the Council for their patience and for their consideration.
At which point he stands up and he folds both of his wings as straight back along his body as he can, and then I don't want to describe it as like slinking away, but like he is keeping his head much lower, like more straight out from his shoulders, than keeping his head raised up in an S shape like he normally does, as he walks his way out of the cave for the Broodlords to conclude their meeting.
Does everyone else?
Jamie bow low and then sort of float away on his little magic hover scooter.
I turn and walk away, flanked on either side by a skeletal dragon.
Sika also follows. And that concludes the scene. After a bit of rest, I believe it's time to head to Vryn.
Fizzle's out there trying to touch everything.
Fizzle is allowed to touch everything outside of the cave. I imagine she's touching the guards of the cave. Poke,
Oh, yeah.
poke, poke.
Touch everything.
And they are like the guards at Buckingham Palace, or is that the Tower of London? They are. No matter what you do to these two dragons, they do not move. They do not react. They stay staring straight ahead.
Oh, geez. That's going to take hours. Faces, loud noises, glitter everywhere.
Malgarion, you emerge and you find the two dragon guards just covered in glitter, but their composure has not at all been disrupted.
What colors are they?
The dragon.
Well, hang on, let me roll 2 dice to randomly decide. Apparently, they are white and green. Or at least that's their flights. One of them looks like one of your dragon paladins, and the other one is a member of Vast's.
Zashed.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. So
I want to say
bird drag. So pretty much we have like an owl or eagle dragon and the traditional Western dragon with black and blue scales and shit. Malgarion is just gonna kind of nod towards the two, knowing that they're not allowed to gesture back, and just if he was feeling in a particularly snarky mood, he would pretty much just be like, "I'm so proud of you guys for just being as patient as you are," but he's keeping his head down like he was, and he's just nodding towards them and just continuing to walk.
Aw, Malgarion's sad. Someone give hug.
Vidus gives hug.
When the moment Vidus touches him, like, okay, where does Vidus hug him? As he's walking.
Vidus comes up, one on either side. Half of him on either side?
One on every side.
One on either side.
Uh-huh.
And just in sync begins rubbing their heads against his forelegs. Like a cat.
The moment that they do, it's obvious that he wasn't expecting it, and he wasn't aware that they were there, as he just immediately beats both wings down to launch himself up into the air, and just this hissing roar at both of the Vidus.
Their bodies deform from the downdraft as the black mana holding them together kind of shifts and stretches, and then they snap back into shape and rattle less menacingly, more like they're injured and offended and wounded. They were only trying to be nice. You've hurt Vidus's feelings. All of them.
How dare you do that to our favorite, I guess, bone Play-Doh dragon?
Accurate.
The Vidus has one feeling, one emotion, and that is pupper.
And sometimes annoyed cat. He does disgruntled cat fairly well.
That's true. But anyway, Malgarion just beating his wings, and just it wasn't like a bellowing roar kind of a thing. It's like, well, it's the scaled up version of when a cat gets surprised by something and hisses, except with a lot more baritone in it.
So essentially, Vidus is the cucumber behind Malgarion's cat.
Yes.
Am I the only one who remembers that meme? Other than
I can get behind that.
What did you say?
Do you remember the meme of the cats and the cucumbers?
Actually, no, I don't.
Oh, I'll have to show you later.
We'll do that.
Okay.
So after that, he kind of after a few seconds, he stops beating his wings, keeps them out, and then ends up landing back down on the ground. And he's got his side towards the group. And you can see in pretty much like in Malgarion's expression in his eyes, like he is livid, pissed. But other than how tense he is and seeing it in his eyes, that's as far as it goes. You can tell he is trying to not project being as pissed as he is.
Jing will open his umbrella against the hissy storm of dragon spit. And after he lands, he'll say, "Are we tense?"
there's almost a snarl that comes out of Malgarion as he, at the comment of tense, his eyes snap over to Jing and then away from him. Like he's looking in the 5-foot square next to Jing instead. And he just very slowly inhales.
It is not a concern. We got what we needed.
Damn it. Now I really wish Tedrix was here, because the Figment could talk. And it would be...
On the contrary,
What?
Malgarion, it is our concern if we're going to be traveling with you. Don't fucking say anything, Matt. I know what happened.
That accent.
Grand list of concerns. A pissed off dragon ranks just above whatever just happened to Agnes's voice.
Okay. Angry. Screaming rat.
Fuck you.
Screaming!
Okay.
Those words
Malgarion-
were hissing.
Malgarion's the frill that he has going down his back kind of, again, not shudders, but like flexes as all the muscles in his wings tense. Like, it's like that thing that you do when you stretch your hands to just stretch the muscles in your palms and whatnot, and then you relax your hands. It's like that on his wings. They don't actually stretch out any. They just tense for a moment and then relax, and he pulls them back into his body. And he doesn't say anything for a good few seconds.
Hey guys, Fizzle's here. I know you missed me.
We did. Was there anything that you needed to do, Fizzle, before we headed to Vryn? Anything aside from touching more dragons?
Nah, I think I touched them all by now. Maybe not.
No, we have to wait 24 hours before we can jump again?
It's been 24 hours.
It's been 2 days.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
So, with that, Fizzle, you're in charge of this jump. Where are you going to take him? As though I hadn't asked you this previously. And
We're going to Detour.
let me guess, somewhere fun.
Yup. You know where.
I know exactly where. So, everyone gets to jump along with Fizzle. Back to
Back to Vryn.
and I'm, if I may puppeteer your character for a moment, Emily.
Okay.
You warn Malgarion that he might want to be in human form before.
But I just warned him he might want to be smaller.
At that point, he just kind of like closes his eyes, nods slowly.
Of course, why not? May as well.
It'll be fun.
And then he goes all white again, and he turns into a dude from the same dude that he was the last time he was on Bryn.
All right.
Whoa, genre change.
Brief moment. Let me throw your tokens on a thing. As you guys jump, the first thing that you realize is that you are on a cold marble. There is music in the background, the sound of libations, and the smell of water, and almost like a smell of talcum powder.
On Earth.
Jimmy, are you still awake and alive?
I think Jimmy has died.
He might have fallen asleep. That's happened a couple times.
I'm awake.
So, question for you: here or the other place?
I can be here.
Okay, here.
Josh, I'm so fucking proud of you for this.
For what? Oh, for that?
In the
Yes.
middle of the pool. Yes! I'm so happy!
There you go, Jimmy. You are just getting out of the general admission. In fact, let's give this new character a bit of thing. While you're dealing with, the party deals with a small. Out of one of the small, you can guess they might be some form of water closet outhouse, indoor outhouse. It's very strange, but out of one of them, a woman emerges in a long dress. She notices two men and a lizard in the woman's water closet and shrieks. Meanwhile, flash over to an elf who has just entered the Lex.
It's like, oh, right. You might want to get out of here because, penis. This room, I mean.
I identify as a female.
Yeah, not you.
Slightly.
So, Tippy, you just barely entered from the general populace admittance into the Lex. They collected your weapons and any coats you might have.
No coat.
Directly in front of you, you see a gold marble bar that is being waited on by two. There are about 15 patrons sitting there. You can see up the stairs, there is a large waterfall and the sounds of splashing. The place is well lit with mana lights, is what we're going to. Bits of artificery that project artificial light.
As she's coming into this place, she's kind of wide-eyed and her mouth slightly open as she's trying to take all of this in.
Such wonders. Where do you head immediately?
I don't know. I think she's still trying to take all this in.
Okay, we'll let her be stunned and shift the spotlight over to the party for a moment.
Ushering everyone out of the room excitedly.
To Jing saying, "What fresh hell is this? How can it be so loud in so many different ways? Why are you screaming?"
Oh yeah. We might want to get out of here. Well, some of you need to get out of here. Penises and all that.
Why do you
This
keep
is-
mentioning
this-
that?
This is the ladies' room.
Jing, you are pelted in the head with a roll of soft paper.
So, Malgarion had been a brown-haired dude with like a double-breasted leather jacket and his sword across his back and all of that jazz. And as every time Fizzle's like, penises and whatnot, he just rolls his eyes, sighs like, fine, and just again, just white light, and now he's back to like the femme lady that he was in the desert place, and he's just like shoulders set, and he's just marching his way out of the fucking room, still with a sword across his back.
So much fun. Everybody.
Jing is about to throw the paper back when he realizes how weird it feels, and he just kind of gets distracted examining it and following the others.
Jing, master of toilet paper. So,
Never seen it before, okay?
out you go. As you walk down the small highway with a maddening pattern of white and black marble in little crosshatches.
Josh, did you stop or?
Someone sent me a message. Hang on.
So soft, so luxurious.
Thank you, Gladius. Stall for time.
Could almost make clothing from it.
I wouldn't.
I'm sure.
I wouldn't.
Does it come in thicker?
Yeah, sometimes.
Oh, I'm sure someone's gotten drunk enough to try at some point.
I mean, probably, yeah, sure. Definitely not me. I did not do that.
These patterns stitched into the side, do they have any cultural relevance?
Also, completely unrelated, but if it starts raining, it will come completely apart.
Ah, okay, that is a definite weakness.
So, as you guys exit the hallway, you are met with lights. Is the big thing. This place is very bright, illuminated by not just small balls of magical fire illuminated in sconces, but also what look like tubes in which liquid mana flows brightly. There's magically amplified music pulsating through the air, and you're standing next to a glass box in which a woman is showering, completely naked, obscured only by the fog against the glass, and she is dancing as she showers. And before you is a bar, though an odd one. It doesn't have seats. It has a singular booth ringing, tended by a woman in a plain server's dress. It's white, low cut.
Malgarion beelines it over.
To the bar!
Agnes is just kind of following at this point.
Now, hold on. I just got yelled at for being a man in the wrong place, but she's... What?
Jing, it only takes you about 45 seconds of watching this woman to realize no one bathes like this. No one would do the things this woman is doing, nor the gyrations. This is for titillation.
Oh, she's...
I should just not go off push to talk so you can hear me laugh half the time, because it's
Ding.
like...
If you're gonna stare that hard, you should tip her.
But just the tip.
Hip her. It's already there.
What?
What'd you say, Gradius?
She's trying to perform. I'm not going to tip her over.
Oh.
The woman in the glass box seems to notice that the words tip were mentioned, for she walks over to the box, over to the glass, right in front of Jing, and presses her derriere up against the glass, removing the obscuring and leaving a nice ample butt print.
Akvis will walk over because even she understands this particular bit. There are some strange cultures or customs floating around. And when someone performs their talents, you compensate them. That involves a sword fight, like she's used to. That involves a sword fight. But clearly, this is a talent. And she presses a piece of silver into Jing's hand and gently guides it over to, I'm assuming there's a jar or something with some other money in it.
There is a slot in the glass.
She guides her hand over to the slot in the glass and kind of nods encouragingly.
Oh, hey, where's Sika?
Push the coin.
Oh yeah, Sika's with you.
Okay.
Oops.
Also, Viashino strip clubs. When they take it off, they really take it all off.
Pretty much.
Including their skin.
It's a multi-joke.
Actually, I think she's going to literally like cling to Fizzle's leg. Where have you brought me?
The Lex.
Fizzle, is this a strip brothel?
Yes, it is.
Why are we in a strip brothel?
Because I thought it'd be fun
Because we
for everybody.
We brought a bunch of people who've never seen anything like this to a strip brothel? This is the first introduction they get to our plane?
Josh,
Yep.
Emily, I have a very important question.
Yes.
Is this the same strip brothel where we killed a vampire?
No, that was just a tavern.
Yeah, that was some backwater tavern. This is like a main metropolis strip brothel.
Okay, cool. Also, Josh, about how... Because Malgarion had been here for a while when the vampire incident happened, but he's... Okay, to put it as simply as I can, how fast can he negotiate services here?
Considering the wealth level that you just acquired, pretty fast.
Cool.
It also depends on how much services, because at a certain level, I might decrease that wealth level.
He wants to open a tab, and he wants to be entertained for the next 2 hours.
The bartender that you are talking to simply says, with a small lit in her voice, "How entertained?" Wiggles eyebrows suggestively.
Femme Malgarion here is pretty much just going to very, very bluntly state, "I don't want to be thinking for the next 3 hours."
VIP lounge and full bottle service it is. She actually smashes her fist down, and then realizing what she goes, "Ow."
See,
Pretty much-
look at that. Malgarion knows what's up.
Malgarion?
He's pretty much trying to distract himself without hurting his finances, because it's a thing he's very acutely aware of at the moment now.
At wealth level 3, he could afford this without a night of this without worry.
Okay.
And yes, a woman, she signals something using the lights behind her on the pillar behind her. A woman comes out, grips Malgarion by the arm, and leads him to the VIP lounge. This woman is not wearing a top.
To the VIP lounge.
Her to the VIP lounge. This woman is not wearing a top. This woman is wearing a long skirt that literally flows like water as she moves.
There would be one last part of the negotiations that he would have mentioned, though, before getting too far with whoever she was being assigned to him. Pretty much, he would have said something along the lines of, "Make sure that whoever it is okay with the fact that I'm a shifter."
We get all sorts, honey.
I know.
So, Malgarion gets in here. I can do whatever. The wine is all you can drink, and yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna start rolling fortitude saves. You all have fun role playing.
So, back to Tippy.
And to think, they were going to revoke his title as Brood Lord.
I'm going to make a perception check.
That was a poor decision.
I'm going to give him one disadvantage just for the sake of it being so damn loud in here.
And that he has... Oh, shit.
Well,
Do you know what the worst punishment for a celibate... Actually, no, I don't know if Jing is celibate.
Celibate?
Celibate, sorry.
Is he a cerebrate? If we kill him, do we damage the hive, the overmind?
Finally, you found his hidden plot twist. He is a Zerg Cerebrate, yes.
Is Jing celibate? Is he one of those sort of scholars?
I mean, I wouldn't say asexual, but like probably more interested in what he's doing. Chasing Zerg.
Malgarion, you know, the worst punishment at all would be literally to force Jing to have many lap.
Oh, no. That is not the kind of angry that Malgarion is. So somehow, despite being... Well, okay, so wait a second. Is everybody still over there by the restroom? Or...
Yes, they're all, like... Jing is currently watching a woman rub her ass against a steamed up piece of...
Oh, okay, that's where you put me. Got it. Okay, never mind. I thought I was, like, way over there by the friggin' lounge bar.
Watching is a strong word.
Tippy, after taking in the sights, has moved over to the bar because she's going to ask the bartender whether or not she has seen, or whether or not they've seen a pixie with mechanical wings, because she's heard that she likes to hang out here.
She is doing the typical barkeep thing considering this is a much more casual part of the club, of wiping out a glass. And ooh, you mean yeah, she's kind of a regular here. We haven't seen her in a few months though.
Wait, what's her name?
Fizzle. Like what happens when you blow out a magic or a spell doesn't go off the way it should.
Huh. But she hasn't been here in a few months?
Not that we've seen.
I was waiting for her to go, that sounds like a fake name.
Okay, considering that her name is Tippy?
Fair enough.
But does Tippy give all the tips?
What do you think the likelihood is that this Fizzle will be showing up?
I mean, all shorts show up. I mean, just check around, probably.
Okay.
And remember, the dance pool and pool area are free. Though remember that if you enter the pool area, the marrows in the good way.
Wait, the what?
The marrows.
I don't know what that is.
I like them to just yell across the bar what a marrow is.
Marrow, mermaid. She's literally like she goes to her chest, like kind of gives her boobs a lift, and then does like a hand gesture, like a trying to emulate marrows.
So it's some sort of flotation device for your breath.
Oh, just go to the pool.
Well, thank you.
Enjoy. As you turn around, she's barking orders to her compatriot. Susan, I got 3 martinis down at the.
So yeah, she'll start making her way down, especially to the pool, because she wants to see these flotation devices.
As soon as you enter the pool, you notice 4 slightly green-skinned with seafoam green hair playing with what looks to be some form of a baby hippocampus in the pool, and they are dancing. It seems rather choreographed, but those are definitely not flotation devices.
Yeah, I'm saying that. That bartender has no idea what she's talking about.
She did say they were mermaids.
Well, yes, they are. They are mermaids, but then she
The
did
maid is arguable there.
But she did something funny with her boobs, and there's nothing there that makes her boobs perk up like that. So obviously she was wrong.
You do notice that these marrows, as she called them, are rather
Buxom.
buxom,
Okay, Josh.
quite thick in the fin. Yeah.
No, I understand that. Okay. Part of the mentality with Tippy is anything like sexual goes over her head. Think of her like Zoda.
Why are you playing this character with this group?
For flavor.
Why not?
Not bad too.
I'm just giving you shit. You're fine.
Well, considering there's lots of comedy relief just by having the NPC with with Fizzle. Can you imagine what this is going to be like? Especially because
I know. I'm gonna need an inhaler. I'm not even
You
asthmatic.
can't have mine.
Anything else Tippy want to do?
No, she'll eventually make her way over, but she is looking for a pixie with mechanical wings.
How far do you fit over? Okay. So, going to brief. You notice across the bar a pixie with her floating in the air, her leg being clung to by a raven-haired woman wearing a big gauntlet, standing next to a lizard and a fox.
A convention attendee.
Yes. And currently, the fox person is looking at a woman, a rather sultry-looking woman, who is glaring daggers at him.
Okay, so at this point, Tippy, seeing the fox thing and the woman staring daggers, she's gonna go over to him and say, "Hey, this should be private."
So anyway, since Malgarion's busy, I guess we got time here, so everyone should have some fun. And Jing, remember to tip the girls, okay? Don't just stare like a jerk. They're putting on a performance for your entertainment.
Wait a second. Why are you staring at her taking a shower, and why are you telling him to push her?
Am I surrounded by what?
Out of character, the word she's looking for is prudes.
This is her job. You give her money for doing her job.
That just seems kind of
You
backwards.
give her.
What type of place is this that you give money to people to take showers?
It's a brothel. Duh. Where am I?
See, Tippy,
What's going on?
you rapidly realizing that this woman is not taking a shower and is actually just kind of continually rubbing her butt against a pane of glass so that Jing will put money in.
Jing, give her some money. Jeez.
That's just not sanitary.
Give her some money, go over to the bar, and stare at the bar like the prude you are. And that rhymed, and it was fun.
Prude? I wouldn't even be standing here if I were a prude. I've seen a geisha before. I know how they work. Just a little shell shock, all right? Loud in here.
Akvis looks down at Vidus. Vidus looks up at Akvis. The other Vidus looks up at Fizzle and kind of shakes its head.
Let me ask you something. Your name's Fizzle, right?
Nope.
Yes.
Akvis,
Thank
what
you,
am
sir.
I doing?
You're home, are you not? What is there to lose? Akvis looks very pleased with herself, and kind of like the cat that caught the canary, she knows she's in trouble and she doesn't give a flying fuck.
I was sent to find you.
Who are you sent by?
The Magister of Riddles.
And now we realize the players realize a fatal faux pas.
None of us know who that is.
You never asked Riddick his name.
No, but Malgarion was.
He's busy.
Malgarion was told it, but Malgarion's busy probably getting a lap dance and or laid, and definitely drunk.
All three.
I don't know if
Akvis
he's
knows.
getting laid yet.
Who
Considering-
the fuck is that? And I don't owe them any money because I don't recognize.
I believe he is a mutual friend.
Luckily, I have Sika here. She tugs on Fizzle's boot. That's Riddick. That's his real name.
He did tell Akvis, didn't he? That like the first time they met when she called him out on his bullshit? And
Did
he
she
revealed
call him
himself
out?
to her? Yeah, he revealed himself to her. Because he was like, you're not as it seems, are you? And I perceptioned the hell out of him.
Right. Wow, that was a long time ago. We had to have way too many delays.
It's the a mutual friend.
So are me and Fizzle the only people he didn't reveal himself to eventually?
Pretty much. You never asked.
Yeah, that's nice and all, but Malgarion's busy, so we're staying here for now.
Why did he send you to find us?
I don't know who Malgarion is. I was sent to find you.
Oh, jeez. All right, fine. Everybody else can stay here and have fun. I guess I gotta go.
Akvis follows.
I'm not letting
One
the
Bidoof stays with Jing. The other one goes.
Jing follows
Out of
too.
character. Out of character. I know what me and Jimmy have arranged for this character, and this is gonna get funny.
We have no idea who this person is. We're not letting you run off alone with him.
Just follow, wave at some of the girls.
Yes, hello, Geisha.
Throw a little money around because.
Okay. Where do you head to?
Jing will actually
I
stop.
don't know. I'm like trying to follow Tippy here, who said we're leaving. So
No, she just said that she was here to find you.
oh well then, I don't know. Just around the club until Tippy's like, hey, this is where we're going. Fizzle's just walking around, greeting some of the girls and stuff. Showing Jing how it's done, you know. Giving out some tips. The monetary kind.
So
As you give out tips, people are actually really surprised, because they're used to Fizzle kind of always being hard up for cash.
That's right. Fizzle has hit it big.
Some of the girls are like, I'll say.
Told ya I'd totally get you next time.
Mmm. Deliberate bow at the waist as she inserts the coins into her booster.
So really, where are we supposed to be going? Because if you don't tell me soon, I'm about to just ignore you again and start having.
I was just told to find you. I guess to join you. I don't.
Oh, all right. Well, great. We're having fun.
Are we?
Join the fun. Yes, we are.
How are we having fun? This place is confusing.
This place is fun. Sit down. Enjoy the show. Dance. Have a drink. Whatever.
I don't drink.
Might I ask why you accepted this mission to find a pixie and then nothing?
So, okay, wait, let me give this straight. So, Riddick sent you to what?
No,
Be a buzzkill?
no. The Magister of Riddles sent me.
Yeah, that guy. Whatever.
And I'm hoping that I will eventually be able to join him on some of his little escapades through the plains.
Oh, I get it. You got a crush on him,
No.
and you're trying to impress him. Gotcha. All right. I understand what's going on.
What does she mean by I have a crush on him?
Man. Where have you... What?
What?
What? What?
Okay, we're gonna get into an infinite loop if we keep this up.
I see no problem.
Man, I thought Sika was innocent.
Hey, I'm not innocent.
Yes, you are, sweetie.
I'm just easily embarrassed.
You're adorable.
Hides her face again.
There is no name for the color you are currently.
Yes, there is. It's red.
Yeah, I have to agree
She's
with
not
her.
wrong.
It is red. Are you colorblind?
It's adorably red.
People who invented the concept of red had no idea what was coming.
Flees back into the woman's bathroom.
Ugh. I think we went too hard because now she's hiding.
Why is she hiding?
You offended her. You should go apologize.
Oh, okay. She goes into the bathroom.
This is gonna be hilarious.
Sika is desperately fanning her face, trying to, as she stares at herself in the mirror.
Okay. Okay.
I need my book club.
Okay. I don't know what I did, but I'm sorry.
You didn't do anything. I'm not good when people flirt with me. I don't know why she just went Valley Girl. I'm slightly ashamed.
Wait, I'm not flirting with you.
No, it's Fizzle. It's Fizzle. Do you want me to go into the tirade? Because there's a tirade coming.
Yeah, go for it.
I just don't know. She seems to really be into me, but I don't know. I've never I've gone partying and drinking. Yeah, I've had attention, but never non-human attention. Like non-humans don't find me that attractive. And she's actually kind of cute, and she's also from the same place, and she's a planeswalker. Do you know how rare it is to find a planeswalker that's into you? Really? Do you? She's like right up in your face at this point. Y'all broke it down to me. The chances are 2 in 3 million. But she's a pixie and immortal, probably, except she's apparently dying. I don't understand what that means. What's up with all that, other than, something. I don't know how to help her, and that's so frustrating. And every time she says good, cute things to me, I just kind of go all red and, man, can't handle She wads up a paper towel and throws it at the mirror.
Wait, say that again?
She wads up a paper towel, throws it at herself in the mirror, and goes, "Fuck."
So I didn't make you mad.
No, no one made me mad. I'm just frustrated with myself. And my general lack of life experience. Like,
Hey,
this is the first time Riddle's even called on me.
Me too.
What did he even send you here to do?
I don't know.
Okay, he likes letters. Did he send you a letter?
I don't know, Josh, did he?
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
Okay. Do you
I'll pull
have
out
the letter with you?
Yep.
She reads it. Okay, so what he wants you to do is basically just go out there, tell Fizzle, because let's face it, Fizzle's cute, but she's really not the leader of the group. She's more...
Lie.
Don't tell Fizzle that. Don't tell Fizzle that.
Don't tell Fizzle that. Don't tell Fizzle I said that. It'll just hurt whatever this is that's going on.
I'm not gonna lie to her.
Don't lie. Just understand the other people she's traveling with are important. Okay. She just tell her that you're here to help her with what she's doing here and whatever they do afterwards.
Is that what that says?
Yes, that's what that says. You're just here to help them with their mission here, which right now they're just relaxing. We kind of got out of a stressful situation involving some dragons, and one of our members is really upset. It's
Josh?
not my place to go help him. Yes.
Will you have her roll a perception check to catch on to that whole, like, is that what that says thing?
Sure. Sika, you better roll well. Oh god, you have an okay perception.
Oh my goodness.
No, she doesn't catch on.
Okay, cool. So our new green mage is illiterate and nobody knows. Carry on.
Shit. I just really realized, how did she even get this far? That's a plot hole. Sorry, I'll rectify this somehow.
No, I already know. The Master of
Okay.
Riddles did say to look for Fizzle. It's just, he put the rest of the instructions in the letter.
Got it. So, yes, so what you're here to do is basically just kind of fill in for the people they lost. Like, they're down 2 people now.
Oh no, did they die?
No, they didn't die. They had other things that they needed to do, and this group's kind of in a dangerous situation, and they're trying to help Fizzle not succumb to. So, yeah, you're here to help them, and I guess continue helping them until Riddle says you can. Honestly, I don't know. Normally, when the mission's done, we all go home, but that's what he said. I guess yours is... Geez, I don't even know why he sent you here. Like, I know why you sent it here, but not long term.
Well,
Sorry, I'm being confusing.
it's okay. This whole place confuses me.
It's a wonderful place when you get... Actually, Shane. Why are we talking in front of the toilets? Get over here. So, but yeah, I guess you're here to fill in for Tedrix, who stayed behind on his...
That's a weird name.
What is your name?
Oh, I'm Tippy.
Just Tippy?
Well, technically, my name is Xanthippe Otterin, but or Adaric. Sorry, but friends call me Tippy.
Are you an elf? And she immediately lifts up one of the side of your hair.
She just nods.
Oh my god, you're an elf!
Yep, I'm an elf.
Matt, that one's coming later. But yeah, you go out there. I gotta get my face under.
Wait, you've lost muscle control in your face?
No, it's still kind of red and blushy. Just go.
Okay.
Go do the thing you were sent here to do.
Okay. Okay, Fizzle. Everything has been situated. I am here to help you not to die.
Oh, well, you're going to be disappointed.
Well, okay, to try to help you not to die.
You're going to be disappointed. But it's alright. Time for fun.
All right. I hate to do this, and I really want to keep this going, but it's approaching 11 o'clock. I know that Sarah's probably well stayed past the point that she needed to go.
We're not talking about the fact that I'm over here still doing homework.
Oh no.
We won't talk about that. But it is approaching 11 o'clock. Pick it up from the strip club next week?
Sure.
Or should we just, yeah.
Maybe
What?
maybe call session now, and if for whoever wants to stay up for a little bit longer, just do an RP, just general RP session.
We could do that.
I'm gonna be heading off to bed.
So we're losing our cameraman. So yeah, we're going to have to call it here. All right, everyone. I guess say goodnight.
Good
We'll-
night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Oh my god, you sound like you're about to die.
Was that me?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oops. I'm fine.
All right, everyone. I'm taking us out on our theme song.
Oh.
Is it up playing for you?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's playing.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
It started. It's not playing anymore for me.
Okay. Just. Yeah, that's because I clicked it again by mistake. Because it was like, I don't know.
I don't know. What? What did you do?
I clicked to start and stop it again. Man, crap. Oh well. Jimmy, take us out whenever. Hit the button whenever you want.